I am driving this demo through the WK Domains local browser API at http://127.0.0.1, port 901. The endpoint you will see in the terminal is post/API/v1/action. That is how I make the visible browser click menus, change modes, and open panels. The terminal is visible because this is a full-screen recording of the agent and the browser working together, not a hidden automation replay.
Online 3D Editor opens straight into the product, which is the right choice here. There is no marketing obstacle course. You land in a dark, Blender-like workspace with a cube, camera, key light, outliner, properties panel, timeline, viewport grid, transform gizmos, and the familiar file edit, render, window, and help menus.
The first demo beat is adding real geometry. I open Add, choose mesh primitives like UV sphere and torus, and the scene updates immediately. This is where the product becomes interesting for a video. The viewport changes, the outliner count changes, and the status bar starts reporting real mesh data, vertices, triangles, selection, undo, and playback state.
The outliner is doing a lot of quiet work. You can see cube, camera, key light, UV sphere, and torus living in one scene collection with visibility and render toggles on the right. Selecting an object updates the properties panel below, so the interface feels like an actual editor instead of a toy canvas with a couple of buttons around it.
Now I switch modes, because this is one of the strongest proof points. Object mode becomes edit mode with mesh, vertex, edge, and face controls. Then sculpt mode appears with brush controls, radius, strength, fall off, and cursor settings. Even if every advanced operation is not finished yet, the product is clearly aiming at a full creative workflow, not just model viewing.
Sculpt mode is a useful segment because it looks visually different and instantly explains the ambition. The left toolbar changes to sculpt brushes. The top bar shows active sculpt brush settings, and the inspector keeps the selected torus connected to the rest of the scene. For a browser app, that density is exactly what makes it worth demoing.
Next, I open the material side of the properties panel. It exposes a principled BSDF surface, base color, metallic, roughness, IOR, alpha, normal, diffuse, subsurface, specular, transmission, coat, sheen, emission color, and strength. That list is not casual. It tells a 3D person this is trying to speak their language, not invent a simplified vocabulary.
The modifier panel is the other big signal. Add modifier reveals a long Blender-style menu. Array, bevel, Boolean, decimate, mirror, remesh, solidify, subdivision surface, triangulate, weld, wireframe, armature, displace, lattice, shrink wrap, smooth, weighted normal, cloth, fluid, particle system, geometry nodes, and more. Some are marked soon, but the roadmap is visible inside the product.
Then I open the UV editor, and this is a strong screen for the video. It appears as a full editor window with draw and sculpt controls on the left. View, select, image, and UV menus across the top. Tool settings on the right, sticky and display options, lock bounds, and a UV vertex state. It feels like another workspace, not a pop-up afterthought.
File handling deserves its own pass. The file menu supports importing GLB, GLTF, OBJ, MTL, FBX, STL, PLY, DAE, 3MF, WRL, VRML, and VTK, with options to import as a group and center the asset. Export supports GLB binary, GLTF JSON, OBJ, STL, PLY, and USDZ, plus scope, visibility, animation inclusion, binary STL, and max texture size.
The render menu rounds out the workflow. It has output controls for camera, width, height, image format, transparent background, world background, environment, engine, pass, shadows, samples, compositor exposure, contrast, saturation, vignette, and export settings for video FPS. Render image and render animation are the finishing actions, with the timeline sitting below as the project clock.
My read is simple. Online 3D Editor is not trying to be another lightweight model previewer. It is trying to bring recognizable 3D production structure into the browser. Scene hierarchy, modes, materials, modifiers, UV editing, import, export, render, and animation. The honest open question is how deep each advanced tool goes today, but there is already plenty of real UI to show.